Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. Today I've got Ervin here, and Ervin lives in the Philippines, and it's interesting because Ervin is one of the few people that I know that has tested positive to COVID. So I wanted to ask Ervin some questions about what that was like and how he used essential oils to support his immune system. So Ervin, thanks so much for joining us. Tell me, what happened? How did it come about, and what was it like to have the virus?
Yeah, actually, prior to all this, prior to getting tested, I did have a flu, or I suffered the flu for about 2 days, and then the flu just went away. So after having flu, after 3 days, I lost my sense of smell. That's when I started to really um, um, had this started to fear, or that's when I started to realize that I might have contracted the COVID virus. So um, after that, after losing my sense of smell, um, I we did schedule ourselves for the testing, or the swab testing, and then afterwards, after several days, we received the result, and as I mentioned, we tested positive for COVID-19. But as what the doctor explained to us, that um, we are those type of COVID infected people that falls under the symptomatic case, wherein the symptoms is not there during during our during the activation of virus inside our body. We didn't suffer shortness of breath, or colds, or coughing. We don't suffer those kind of underlying symptoms. So what we did, we just stayed at home, me and my wife, since both of us was diagnosed with this. We quarantined ourselves, though we live in one house, but my wife sleep on a different room, and I'm sleeping also in a different room as well. And we just have our kids go to my sister's place, so we can really isolate and contain the virus just for the two of us. So if you will be asking me what I did, how I use the Terra essential oils, I think it's been a help to us, especially to calm our senses, because as what the doctor told us, since though we are asymptomatic, but we must boost our immune system. Number one. Number two, we must relieve ourselves from stress.
Yeah, stress is
So
such a big one, isn't
though
it?
though yeah, though in the first place, indeed, that um, when we had, or when we first um, mentioned, when it was first mentioned, or when we had the result given to us, telling us that we are COVID positive, yeah, we fear, we felt anxiety. There is anxiety, there is fear, um, that because what the news has been providing us, that there are people just getting that who dies from the disease. That's why there is fear in us. So but when the doctor explained to us so many things, that we are asymptomatic, there's somewhat kind of peace in us. So going back to the usage of the Terra, there are three oils which we use, you know, every day to calm ourselves. Number one is the peppermint oil. Um, Number two is the frankincense. Actually, four. Oregano, frankincense, peppermint, and the on guard. So what we do is just to relieve ourselves um, for the cough or with because there are times that we feel that there is phlegm on us. So what we did is we we put few drops of oregano on our palms and then we inhale it. Though at first I I I, I am not really smelling it because I lost my sense of smell. I didn't smell anything, but I just continue to, you know, have the aroma of the oregano and also using the diffuser. We put few drops of frankincense together with peppermint and just to before we sleep or while we are sleeping so that we can have a good good rest. So the essential oil is what we use on top of us having the normal vitamins to boost our immune system.
That's interesting that you say, it's such a strange thing to lose your sense of smell. And especially with an oil like oregano, it's such a strong oil to not be able to smell that
Yeah.
combination. But it's interesting that even though you can't smell, that you're still getting the medicinal benefits of the oregano, the on guard frankincense peppermint combination of still persevering with breathing that in and using that in the diffuser, even though you couldn't smell that. That's interesting. And did you also use those oils topically on your feet or your chest, or?
Yeah. We use the oil. What you call this? The coconut oil
Yeah, the fractionated coconut oil. Yep.
that was sent.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we put a few drops of frankincense and peppermint also.
Yep.
And then you know my wife massages my feet and my chest with it, and I also do that to her, massaging her back just to just to infuse it on her skin so that when we sleep, aside from the diffuser that we use, we have a direct smell or the aroma that we get from it massaging it to our breast and back,
Yeah, that's
and feet
interesting.
and then the arms.
Yeah. And it's interesting, especially with that oregano, frankincense, on guard, peppermint combination, that it gets in through the skin. We talk a lot about the skin microbiome, or that bacteria on the skin, and getting that in deep into the cells to support the immune system through the feet, through the back, through the chest. And so what would you say was your favorite oil really for supporting that feeling of calm and calming you down so you're able to sleep well? Which one would you think is the best for that?
A mixture of on guard and the peppermint.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it? Peppermint, it's such an uplifting oil. It's such an invigorating oil.
Yeah.
But it brings such clarity, but it also can bring calm. And and the on guard has got the wild orange in it, and that is fantastic for anyone that's feeling overwhelmed or anxious or worried. Then that oil can be very beneficial, just to calm everything down. And it's
That's
interesting
right.
that
That's right.
we're all different, so we respond to some of the oils in a different way. So what can make one person feel really calm, like lavender, and another person can respond very well to a wild orange, or to on guard, or to peppermint. So it's a really interesting experience. Yeah, good. Are you fully recovered now?
And yeah, so after 2 weeks of staying at home, quarantining ourselves, um, we went back for another round of tests, and we tested already negative and free of COVID. And after that, we still take another week, another 7 days to still quarantine ourselves before we ask our kids to go back home. And during that period, the another 7 days after we had the negative report, what we did is we cleaned the house, of course. We don't want to have any virus in the house. So actually, what I did is that I use a spray. I do have a spray wherein um, I put water and also a few drops of vinegar, and then I use the lemon, the oil, lemon oil, and
Yeah.
that's what I use to to disinfect the countertops, the walls,
Yeah.
because I don't really want to use the chemical one like the Lysol and everything. I don't want to use that because sometimes because my wife had this allergic rhinitis, so every time there's a very strong chemical scent, my wife really had this itchy nose and we just
Yeah.
sneeze and sneeze and sneeze. So so that's what we use or that's what we do. We have that disinfectant concoction
Yeah.
that we use. And also, actually, I don't know if this is right or if it's even correct for me to do, because we bought a gallon of alcohol, the 70% alcohol, and what we bought is the one that doesn't have any smell or doesn't have any
Mhm.
fragrance on it. And what I did is that we put it in small bottles, or we put a small bottle, and then I made a drop of peppermint and on guard on the alcohol. So
Yeah.
every time we go out and then we have to spray our hands with alcohol after washing. We I can still smell the aroma of the frankincense and the peppermint on the alcohol.
That's
So
amazing. And that's
it's like what I said. It relaxes and it calms down our senses,
That's great.
something like that.
And that's, lemon is such a powerful cleaner, and having that combination with the rubbing alcohol, the alcohol take the edge off and make it smell nice is a good thing as well. So
Mm.
tell me, has your sense of smell returned now?
Yeah, actually, it only after just to tell the story. When I first noticed that I lost my sense of smell, what I did is I opened up a bottle of an essential oil, doTERRA. I opened up and put it very near to my nose, and then just want to smell it. Unfortunately, I'm not smelling any aroma on it. I didn't really smell anything. The oil almost touches the tip of my nose, but I didn't really smell anything. So that's when I realized na, hey, this is quite serious. I'm not really smelling anything, and I don't have any flu or I don't have any colds during that period. So, um, but after 3 days, after 3 or 4 days, that's when I start to regaining my sense of smell back. So again, I use the oil. That's
Yeah.
my, that's my benchmark.
Yeah.
I told myself once I start smelling the essential oil, I know that my sense of smell is back. So
Amazing.
after 3 or 4 days, I started smelling it back, and continuously. So actually, right now, everything is well okay. I can even smell even the minute smell,
Well,
not
that
like
is
what
such
happened
really
before.
it's such good news that you were able to use the oils to support your rebuilding of the immune system and having that sense of smell back, and
Mm.
luckily that have any of the other symptoms. So I think that that's a really good story for yourself and your wife. And luckily you were able to have your kids elsewhere, and as you say, sleep in separate rooms. It's such a and then to make sure you clean all the house afterwards. It's really difficult to know, having, you know, that virus can stay alive on surfaces for a day or something, to clean everything thoroughly, from the, as you say, the taps, the door handles, the mobile phone, that everywhere you think you've touched and breathed on. So that's it's fascinating to hear that story. So well done. I'm glad you're able to share that with me today, and good news for your wife as well.
Don't worry.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. We'll stop the recording now. But for anyone who's watching, you know, if you are worried about any, you know, seasonal threats and really wanting to boost your immune system in a different way, then, you know, using natural medicine is more effective. It's very cost effective. It's safe, and it's, you know, it's very, very good at,
Right.
you know, supporting that immune system in that way. So we encourage you to try natural medicine. It's really profound, and it really works well. So thank you so much for watching.
My takeaway on this, and hopefully, just want to add something. For those who's going to watch this recording, the key point in you know, defeating this virus is for you to have really a strong immune system. Don't, you know, don't stress so much yourself with things. That's what I would like to say, because with the strong immune system, even if you got infected, you know, the virus would not be able to really defeat your immune system. And you will, you know, I hope and I pray that you will be as lucky as I am, just being asymptomatic, and didn't suffer anything or anything in that matter. So that's all. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Trish.
it's amazing. And I know from your family, you've got a very, very strong faith, and you've lived, you know, you live very healthily, and you know, just focusing on building that immune system and focusing on reducing stress, and having that really strong faith in something, you know, the higher power, and putting your faith in, you know, your ability to heal, and using the oils as part of that toolkit for healing. Combined with your amazing strong faith, I think that that's all very, very important, and works very much hand in hand to support the immune system. So everything we do is about foundational nutrition, natural medicine, reducing stress, making sure you're building up a good, strong immune system, and you've got that faith and that, you know, that knowledge in something higher than yourself, whether it's God or Mother Nature or the beautiful power of these oils and the gifts from God and the earth. You know, it's really, really powerful and potent. So well done, and thanks for sharing your story.
No worry, anytime, Trish. Bye.
Okay, just stop that.